it was hard.
Hi everyone, you're warmly welcome back to my channel. My name remains Miss Alkofa and this is the International Student Hub. It's been a while and I would like to say a happy new year. Even though January is almost gone, I've been quite busy and enjoying the festive season in my one corner. But anyways, today I bring you an interesting discussion with myself and my former roommate in level 100 in the University of Cape Coast. So she's actually okay. I'm not going to do all the introduction. So she's here and she's going to share with us how to look for schools in the United States of America. I know it's really something most of you are looking out for to get the opportunity to come to graduate school. So today we are going to take our time and then walk you through the process. Okay, so I have with me here a very beautiful lady. Please, can you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Abigail Abamensa. Like Vanessa said, I'm her former roommate. We all studied in the University of Cape Coast, Ghana, and I offered biochemistry as my undergrad major.
Okay. So, how are you liking it in the US now? So, let me tell you, Abigail came, I think, last year, and so far she's had a few of the United States. So, how are you like coping the weather and everything?
Okay, so last year, whenever I came to the US, it was in the summer. So feeling cold was a little bit something I could adapt to. So I had just a jacket and other footwear that would make me comfortable. And I had people telling me I'm going to die in summer. I'm going to die in winter, sorry. And because at my house, I had to switch on the heating system to keep me warm at night. But then winter came in and Ohio experienced the less amount of snow this year. So sometimes it's terrible. Other times I just feel good. And I just wonder if I'm still in the US because it's good. It's good to adapt to the system and it feels good to walk in the snow and be okay, not shivering or feeling so cold that you can't do anything. Sometimes I feel those feelings, but other times too, it's just one of those things.
Okay, nice. Okay, so that means you are schooling in Ohio. What school are you in, and what program are you reading?
Okay, so I am in the Ohio State University, Columbus. That is where the school is. And currently, I am offering human nutrition with my research focus on food safety
Okay.
microbiology.
Oh wow, interesting. This girl has always been fascinated about food. I remember level 100, she was doing so for her undergrad, she actually read biochemistry. And she told me with the biochemistry, we have the industry and then we have those who go into food. I remember she said something like that, but she is more interested in the food. It
Yes.
is interesting and then amazing to know that you are living the dream. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So back to our main agenda for today. So Abigail, how many schools did you apply?
Okay. My application actually started in 2019. So in 2019, I had to make this list for schools that offer food science and microbiology. So I wanted to do food related programs, and all I knew was food science and then microbiology because my teachers and lecturers were helping me streamline the goals and everything. So that was 2019. I made list of schools. So I think about 15 of them.
Wow.
And in 20, I applied in 2019 though, but that was a different thing altogether. But in 2020, what I did was to expand my horizon, I had to think of the program content of the school and how that relates to my interest. So that is what I did. And whenever I made my search so specific to the course content and then the program mission and vision and program outcome in general, I had like 25 schools, but then I had to consider funding and everything. So I streamlined all the schools and the necessary documentations and things I had to bring on board. And I just got 5 at the end of the day and applied to 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then, what time did you actually make the application? I mean, what time of the year? Around what time did you make it?
Okay, so in 2020, I sent in my application in September.
That's quite early.
Yes, very early. I was just considering whatever happened to me in 2019, and then so I made all the preparations and everything. So by September, I had submitted my first application to a school, and then the last one was in December 28.
Okay, wow. So how did you search for the schools again? Like, how did you just go to maybe Ohio State, and then how did you do it?
Okay, so my first search was to look for schools that offer food science, schools that offer microbiology, and then schools that offer nutrition. So I had those schools and then selected because I needed those 3 keys: nutrition, food safety, and microbiology. So all the keywords and then the schools that I had, then I selected the school that appeared in all the searches that I did.
Okay.
So Ohio State appeared in all the searches: nutrition, food safety, food science, food microbiology. Then other schools that appeared with a highest frequency, I selected them and put it down. Then I had to go to the school's website.
Okay.
So with the school's website, they have the program description and everything that you need. So from there, I also had to streamline to what I want and what I want to do.
Okay. Okay. I think that's really a good way to go about it. You know, some people just start by searching the school. So somebody knows that okay, Abigail is in Ohio State and I went to the same school with Abigail. So then let me just go to Ohio State and see whatever that is there. But I think with that kind of search you are limited. But then looking at how you did yours, it actually pulls all the schools that actually have that program, and then you take your time and go through each one of them. So I think this is a very like valuable tip that people can learn from, because I sometimes people come to me and they go like, give me schools and
Yes,
I don't know how do I give you schools. So you have to set your program, the kind of program you want to pursue in the graduate school, and it just put it, it's just a Google search and it can pull so many schools for you, and then you take your time and go through the schools that actually you think they have funding or you like their curriculum, yeah, something like that. Okay, so
I think
then okay.
I think with the people asking you for the schools thing, I also happen to get my friends asking me what school I am in, what program, and then also asking me to find out if they do a specific course that they want. And most of the times I was in this group page for my visa application, and most people posted their schools that they had and then their course. So most of the time, whenever they ask me, I just go to that page and pick up the courses that they are interested in and give it to them. But I advise them to do what I did, and
Yeah.
I think that will give you the overall things that you want, and then the programs and courses that you really don't want to study again.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And I think if you want to be a graduate student, searching for school should be something you do yourself. Like you can't just call somebody and tell the person, look for schools for me, because at that basic stage, it is something little. Like you just have to invest time and then look for the schools. And most of the times, some of us, we can only give you schools that we attempted applying to. But someone like me, this was the only school I applied to. So if you actually want me to give you a school, I can just go like try Northern Arizona, but I don't also know the program you want to do.
Yeah.
So it will be some way. So it's very difficult for us with all our busy schedule to actually find time and then search schools for you. But then if you can also do that little bit, I think it's really, really help you, because as a grad student, it's all about researching. So searching for school there, yeah, you might be it's no job. Okay. So then did you actually reach out to professors when you were applying to schools? So after
Yeah.
you settled on your list, after you found the schools that has your program, did you actually reach out to faculty members to find out more?
Yes, I did. Most of the schools that I chose had the requirement specifically stated to look for faculty member. But since my course is a research, even with the schools that did not ask, I went ahead to message faculty members and then wait on their reply to decide on which schools that I want to apply to. So I think with whenever I streamlined to 5, what brought the number to 3 was a faculty member's response.
Okay.
So after messaging them and asking for a slot in their lab and showing my interest in their lab, they had to write back to me to see if they have if I will meet the requirement for their lab, and also if they have the space available, they will let me know in their mail. So with that, I I just had to bring my number then reduced, because some of the faculty members were like, they don't have space for me, and others too had space, but they don't have funding to support the research that I want to do in the school.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. So when you were reaching out to them, what did you actually attach documents that, okay, I am Abigail, I want to come to your program, this is my CV or something. What did you do? Yeah.
Okay. So with this particular question, I think I would go back in retrospective to 2019, when I was sending the same mail to advisors. So I look at their website and scan through what they do, and then check 1 or 2 publications of them. And then I just dropped a mail. Hello, sir, I'm Abigail from Ghana, then blah, 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 blah. And I'm interested in your research focus. I read this publication. Meanwhile, I just scanned through that publication. I never read
That's
it.
so smart. Yeah.
I never read it and all that. So 2019, this was just, it looks like it's generic. So I sent it to almost all the advisors. Whenever I see the research publication, I had to take it off and put the one that I'm going to write, their research focus in there, to just make the email new. But last year, 2020, what I did was I made my email very short. So I just, good, hi, Dr. So and so. I hope this mail finds you well. Then I state my name and the reason for contacting him. And then I attached my CV, and I attached my laboratory assessment from
Okay.
school. And then I think I
Is it from
attached,
your undergrad from UC?
yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
So
Okay.
in undergrad, you have this mandatory internship that you have to do, and then with that internship, they give you an assessment to submit to the head of the company or institutions that you are having. So
Okay.
mine was a lab, and so I had the laboratory assessment, how good I am with following procedures and everything. And I did 2 internships, so I had to attach it to them, mails, and then I also attached a brief statement of purpose specific to the person that I was writing the mail to. So my
Wow.
mail sentence were just like 4 or 5 lines, that my name is this. I'm writing to show interest or something like that in your lab. Please find this document for your perusal. And I attach all the documents that I saw. It was something that could put me on the map and make him interested in me.
Okay. Wow, I think that's a very, very like determined path you actually took. Because to actually sit down and then write emails like specifically to a particular, with a statement of purpose, some people actually use one particular statement of purpose for most of their programs, especially if you're applying to the same program in all the other universities. But then to actually sit down and then tailor these actually emails to each one of the faculty members, I think you actually put in a lot of hard work, and I think your hard work has brought you this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These
That's
people are professionals, and I feel like they get hundreds of mails. And if you have just one draft of email that you send to almost everybody that you are writing to, they see through it,
yeah,
because every year they get such mails. But then if you are tailoring the mail, you're tailoring it to suit what he has,
yeah.
suit the lab, they feel like that is a unique one to pay attention to. So most of the time, such emails are being replied instead of not getting a reply at all.
Yeah, especially when you actually go the extra mile to tell them that, okay, so I saw this publication of yours and I'm really fascinated about it. Especially maybe I like this part, I like the method you use, something like that.
Yeah.
They go like, wow, because professors write and they expect people to read. So for them to
Mhm.
know that you are not even in the program and you are already like reading about them, their publication, that alone like speaks a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes you never know who will be on the committee. They'll just go like, pick this girl. She's serious. She's determined. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really good. Okay. So then, I think this question you've already answered it, but I just want you to be just lay more emphasis on it. So, what were the specific requirements you were looking? So, after you search for food and nutrition or food science as your key search words, search terms. No, after you search for those, and then you pulled out the schools that actually have those programs. What specific criteria did you actually use to bring the list down? So now you have all the schools. What actually were you looking at?
Okay. So my initial search for schools was more focused on the program. So after I had the list of schools that offer the program that I want, then I had to streamline to my research focus. And it's we have a lot of programs, food science program, a lot of things that people offer in their various universities. But then I was targeting food safety. I was targeting anything in relation to microbiology or diet and their effect on health and population in general. So these were the things that I was looking for. And so after reading through their website, I had to go to the faculty's website to check various research that people do. And so that also had to bring things down, because some of them are doing something related to food, but not in health aspect, not in diet and health related. things that I want. So that was also a factor. Then later, when I had a small group, now the focus was on getting the what do you call it, the document. So some of the schools wanted IELTS, others wanted GRE, others wanted some other documents. So I just had to weigh which one is really available, which one can I do at this short period of time. And there were some documents that I decided not to do it even when I liked the school. So these are all the things I considered and brought the schools to a very small group. And then with that, it was all in the hands of who can get me a space in their lab. So I started writing to those people, and then a response then determined whether I'm going to apply to the school or not. So if I get no, like they don't have a space for me in their lab, they don't have funding to support my research, then I had to cross that school off or make an asterisk for future whatever thing. Maybe I could rewrite to that advisor or not. And then finally, whenever I get the yes from the schools that I eventually applied, I had all the boxes ticked. I had my document, I had my advisor, I had everything that I need, the program that I want to do, the research focus that I want to pursue, and every other thing. So that was it.
Okay. So, but funding was also part where you consider the funding aspect too.
Yes.
But you didn't consider. Okay, yeah.
So funding was one of the, what do you call it, the highest things that I valued when I was searching. Aside my program search, funding was the second in line. So like I said, funding was the second most important thing on my list when I was searching for schools. So after getting the courses, the schools that offer the program that I want, I had to look at their website and check if there was funding for people, if there were funding for international students, if there were probability of funding through research and all other avenues that I could get funding. So with that, my list had to go off.
Madam List.
I had a very small school. Then I followed through the various checklists. So the examination and every other things.
Okay. So did you actually consider the city, or coming from Ghana, you didn't mind, with some of the foreign international students I've come across, when you ask them, oh, so why did you actually choose the school? I'm talking about those from Europe. They'll tell you, okay, so generally they read that Arizona is cool, the weather is fine and all that, so they prefer to be somewhere here. But did you actually consider something like that?
Yes. I mean, the major one was funding, but then after I had streamlined my schools, I checked on the temperature, what do you call it? The whole weather condition of the state. So I'm not so good with cold weathers. And so I didn't want to be in a place where there's a lot of snow and then the temperature is within minus something and other things. So these were also things that I factored in. And then eventually when I had the very small group of schools that I had the potential to apply, I also factored in the living conditions. So some states is very high. I mean, living condition is high, and other states, the living condition is very low. And so I had to, grade everything. I had to see the amount of funding that the schools are giving me, and then just balance and see if I could survive with the amounts that they are giving me, rent, food and other things. So
okay, that's nice. So what would you say was quite challenging throughout this process? You searching for school and then doing the applications.
I think the most challenging one is to get the advices to reply to your mail, and with a good reply, of course. That was very challenging because that was the determinant of the application, if I'm going to apply to the school or not.
Okay.
And then I think the other one was getting the individual SOPs for the schools that I applied. I mean, it was within 1 month, and the grammar all don't finish. I had to make sure every school is unique and is tailored to the school's mission and vision and what I want in general. So it was hard, and it had to just take a lot of energy and a lot of writing to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So, about the application fees. So you said you ended up applying to 3 universities.
Mm-hmm.
Was it also a challenge for you because with the application fee when you are at home, when you convert the amounts to our local currency, it's not small. So how were you able to pay?
Okay, so before I started my application, I knew I had to put money down for application fees. I had applied already in 2019, so I knew what the average estimated amount I have to budget for the schools that I have to apply. And so, I mean, taking that amount was hard, but I had already budgeted, I had already prepared for a whole year towards my school application. So I wasn't much concerned when the time came, but then getting that amount from my bank account was something that you would think twice about it, and then just pray that that money is not wasted and all that. But then I had planned a year ahead of it, so I was more in a comfortable zone giving up.
Yeah. So from the entire discussion, it feels like you had everything planned. And I must commend you for that because you just don't wake up one day and say you want to study abroad. People just wake up one day with no plan. They've not researched. They don't know what they're doing, no program, nothing. They just want to be here because they've seen people here. But then you have to actually take your time and plan. Look at you. You started all the way from 2019, but you didn't give up, gave it a try in 2020, and then it worked. So I think planning is very, very important if you want to be here. But in your emails to the faculty members, was there a time that you actually requested they waive the application fee for you?
Yes, there
Okay.
was this particular school that um, it was possible for me to waive the application fee. So I had emailed the advisor. We were on a Zoom meeting, and then he asked me if there's any other question that I have that I want to ask. And I remember asking him if he could give me any letter, he could give me something that I could use in my application processes to waive the admission fee. And I think he replied that he wasn't in that capacity to do that, and it requires some documentations he doesn't think he could give me in the short period of time.
Okay, but that was a good try.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to talk to them, and in some people's cases, they are able to get them to waive it for them. But it doesn't mean once you reach out, the person should waive it for you. It takes a lot of processes. So, right, is if you ask and they are able to give it to you, that's yeah, good. But if they are not able to, I think it's not really a bad situation. The most important thing is you apply and get in it. Okay, so throughout the application process, looking for schools and everything, what would you say you have learned? What lesson have you learned uh, from this whole process?
Um, the first one is determination. I feel like if I'm determined to pursue something, irrespective of whatever that thing is, I would be able to make it. The other one is planning. So I have the determination, I have the goals, I have the aspiration, but to get to the destination I want, it needs a lot of planning, strategic planning, and other alternative planning to back the major one that you did. And then I think one is also patience. So I mean, 1,000 miles take 1,000 something. I don't know.
A journey of 1,000 miles.
A journey of 1,000 miles takes just a step. And sometimes people just run through their journey and at the end of the day get blocked. And that moment where they have to use all their energy to push that stumbling block, that is when they have no energy because they were running through their journey. So sometimes you just take patience and to walk through the journey of life, unveiling and discarding and making progress as you go through your life and the journey that is ahead of you.
That's interesting. But let me go back. I just remembered this question. So you were talking about writing certain graduate exams. Did you write a GRE?
No,
No, for your
I mean,
program you
that
didn't.
was one of the exams that I was so, what do you call it, particular about it. I decided not to write it. One was because I hadn't budgeted for that. And then two was I was working at that time with COVID, going night shifts and day shifts and everything. So I had no time to study. And so I also streamlined schools towards that end, not to get the school that had GRE. And it looks like at the time I was also applying, most of the schools have waived GRE requirement.
Because of the
So
COVID.
yes, so I needed not to do it.
Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to prospective applicants in the future, those who want to come? What would you tell them?
Okay, so first, I would want to recommend you for graduating successfully, for working or for doing anything, and also having the plans to further up your life and to plans to progress in life. Bravo to you. Um, Schooling in the US, and all we know, it's expensive. And so, if you have the chance to be funded for school, that is great. And it takes diligence, it takes determination, and it takes a lot of research and a lot of reading to identify the schools that give funding, the course that you're interested, and the way forward with your graduate applications. So take time for yourself. That is the future you want for yourself. So get time set aside for that particular aspect of your life and develop it as much as you can. There are funding opportunities. There are a lot of funding opportunities. You might have gotten school and you are looking for funding. It's all about research. There's a lot of information on the internet. You can get scholarship for the program that you are doing. You can get scholarship for the research that you are doing. You can get funding as an international student. You can get funding as a Black person. You can also get funding as a Ghanaian or whatever country that you come from. It's all about tailoring your research content on the internet and digging deep into internet research to find what is available for you and to tap into it and then make it yours. Also, it takes patience. So you might have applied once and you haven't gotten it. That is not the end. I mean, that should boost you to do more and to perfect the things that went wrong in your first application and jump back and do more.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really, really amazing. And Abigail, I must say, this discussion has been very, very enlightening. You've taught us a lot. And I hope that viewers will actually learn something from this, at least how to search for school. Now you know how to tailor it to your particular program and how to actually get more schools. I think when you search by the program, you're able to get more schools than taking your time and going to any school that comes to mind. You just remember that, oh, Vanessa is in this school, then let me try. Oh, Abigail is in this school, let me try. If you do that, you may not really have like a great pool to choose from. But then when you search as she did according to the program you have, and she's actually given us like a lot of tips. Yeah. And we thank her for all that. And I want to officially bring this discussion to an end. But before I do, I'll also try to recommend Abigail's channel to you. It's called the Sanities Corner. I will actually put the link up here for you to go and check her out. Everything we talked about here, she does more on that channel. So Abigail, it was nice having you, and I hope that the semester treats you well. The pressure is mounting, but then we are more than conquerors. We've come this far. We can't feel. Okay, so it was nice talking to you, Abigail. Do you have some shout outs? Shout outs, be our man.
Let's see. Shout out to all my subscribers. I mean, we just started the journey, but it will be awesome. Shout out to you who is going to subscribe. You would have a very interesting journey as we progress through the years and the years and the years. Shout out to my course mates who through my coaching, let's say that, are nearing to their vision and almost getting admission. Let's hope that it comes out successfully. Shout out to my mom, to my family, and to you, Vanessa, for giving me the opportunity to talk to your interesting viewers.
And shout out to our I don't even know if they will watch, but our other two roommates from
shout out to Rita.
Wow. Okay, we hope to see you soon. Okay, on this note, I'll say adios. Bye bye.